This is Loyle Carner's old head teacher, Stuart Worden, who was my guest on the podcast this week, talking about Loyle Carner as a young student and what he did for the local community. If you watch this whole post and you don't have a tear in your eye or a lump in your throat, I fear you might be an AI agent and not a human being. So go and check that out with ChatGPT.
He was one of the first kids who went with me to a hospice to write songs with people a few months before they died. I've been doing that for the last 20 years, but he was in one of the original let's go to the hospice and let's talk to people before they die. Ben sits down with this guy, and I remember it so clearly. This guy had motor neurone disease. And so Ben's job was just to befriend him that morning in a sort of like, and shall we maybe write together, or maybe you tell me a story, I'll turn it into a poem, or maybe into a dance. Give me what you got. And this guy called Martin, I remember it very, very, very vividly. He was so angry. And he was angry because he was going to die young. He was angry because his life, which was pretty full, was degenerating week by week, because that's what degenerative illnesses do. And he was really angry we were there. He was kind of like, what is this? Performing arts? What happy clappy teenagers from South Africa. And Ben was like, no, I totally get that. I understand that. I understand why you're angry. My stepdad died here in this hospice, and it was tough for me, and I'm coming here to try and come to terms with that. So can I talk to you about that, and maybe we'll see if we can get some common ground? So him and Ben struck up a friendship, which ended up being a song that they wrote together about fearing death. And it's just a massive moment. And then um, Ben and I just always just checked in on each other over the years, and he's come down here a lot, talked to the kids about mental health, talked to the kids about writing lyrics, talked to the kids about how rubbish fame is. He's been proper Brit school, and our kids love that kid, and they love him, I think, because not only does he talk about how he struggled with race and hatred that he's faced, he also talks about how much he loves his mum, and he talks about how difficult it is to get girls to like you, and he also talks about the beauty of cooking. So he's really ripped up the rule book on what you write about,